You are watching Daily Market Pulse. Today is Sunday, May 10, 2026. If you want a clean daily read on macro and market risk, subscribe for the next briefing. Bitcoin breaks about $80,000 as stocks hit record highs. Today's agenda: macro and geopolitics, gold and silver, crypto market update. Moving to geopolitics. The Federal Reserve has maintained a dovish stance, with the 10-year yield at 4.4%. This is signaling a potential slowdown in economic growth. The strong jobs data has also supported the rally in stocks and Bitcoin. What does this mean for investors? The yield curve is a key indicator of economic growth, and the current shape is signaling a potential slowdown. This is important for investors to understand, as it can impact their investment decisions. The market has reacted positively to the strong jobs data and dovish Federal Reserve commentary, with stocks and Bitcoin surging to new highs. However, investors should be aware of the potential risks and opportunities in this environment. Investors should watch the upcoming Federal Reserve speakers and economic data releases for further guidance on the market trend. Moving to precious metals. Gold prices have risen to about $4,716, driven by inflation concerns and safe haven demand. Silver prices are also up about 14% YTD, driven by industrial demand and inflation hedging. What does this mean for investors? Gold and silver are important safe haven assets, and their prices can impact investor sentiment and investment decisions. The market has reacted positively to the rise in gold and silver prices, with investors seeking safe haven assets in times of uncertainty. Investors should watch the upcoming inflation data releases and economic indicators for further guidance on the trend in gold and silver prices. Moving to crypto. Bitcoin prices have surged to about $80,748, driven by strong demand and adoption. Ethereum prices are also up less than 1%, driven by decentralized finance and non-fungible token demand. What does this mean for investors? Crypto prices can impact investor sentiment and investment decisions, and the current trend is driven by adoption and regulatory developments. The market has reacted positively to the rise in crypto prices, with investors seeking exposure to the growing asset class. Investors should watch the upcoming regulatory developments and adoption trends for further guidance on the trend in crypto prices. Now let us turn to today's live market snapshot, where gold, crypto, stocks. Now for our daily financial market update. Here is where the key asset classes stand as of Sunday, May 10, 2026. Gold is trading at about $4,730, slightly higher on the day, and is strongly higher over the past 5 sessions. Silver is at about $81, higher today, and strongly higher over the past 5 sessions. In crypto, Bitcoin is at about $80,900, slightly higher on the session, and slightly lower over the past 5 sessions. Ethereum is at about $2,350, flat today. Other major crypto: Solana at about $93, slightly higher, BNB at about $650, flat, XRP at about $1.424, slightly higher. On equities, the S&P 500 at 7,398.9, slightly higher. The Nasdaq at 26,247.1, higher. The Dow at 49,609.2, flat. Internationally, the DAX at 24,338.6, lower. The Nikkei at 62,713.7, slightly lower. The FTSE at 10,233.1, slightly lower. On the bond side, the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield is at 4.4%, slightly lower on the session, and the 30-year yield is at 4.9%, slightly lower. Yields remain in focus as the market watches for Federal Reserve signals. Rounding out the macro picture, WTI crude at about $95 per barrel, slightly higher. The dollar index at 97.84, slightly lower. Euro dollar at 1.179, slightly higher. The overall tone is risk-on. Equities and crypto are both bid, suggesting investors are positioned for continued upside in the near term. So what does today mean for you? The current market trend is driven by a mix of economic data and central bank actions, and investors should be aware of the potential risks and opportunities. Thank you for your attention, and we will see you again tomorrow.